Hello, everyone. Welcome to our intro to social media for real estate agents with your MAPS coach, Carlos Gill. We're so excited to have you on this webinar today. Please note that this webinar is being recorded. And if you know someone that has missed the webinar, this link will be sent out today, about 2 hours after the webinar. And please feel free to share that link with anyone in your market center. You will also receive the recording if you are attending. So that way you can watch it again, catch anything you might have missed. If you have any questions, please type them into the questions box located in your taskbar. If you have any questions after the webinar, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That's FASTTRACK@kw.com. And we hope you enjoy this webinar. Carlos, you can go ahead and get started.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Paige. Well, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, based on where you are watching this from today. My name is Carlos Gill, and you are tuning in to the introduction of social media for real estate agents. Social Media for Real Estate Agents is a 4-week course that is offered by MAPS and Keller Williams with myself as the instructor. And at the very end of this presentation, I will share with you some information on how you can get signed up for that course. However, today, you're going to get some good amount of information around how to apply social media in your real estate business. And before I get started, I just want to share with you a little bit about myself. Once again, my name is Carlos Gill. I am a coach with MAPS. In fact, I've done now, since the beginning of this year, 4 different MAPS courses on social media for real estate. I do have over 10 years of experience leading social media programs for both B2B as well as B2C companies. I used to have a startup, and I also spent several years working in brand marketing, starting social media and leading social media for brands like Winn-Dixie, Save-A-Lot. I also spent time working for LinkedIn. I'm also an international keynote speaker, so I've spoken all over the world, including Europe, North and South America, speaking to marketing executives about how to apply social media strategies in their business, specifically around storytelling. Earlier this year, I was awarded the Best Hispanic Snapchat Storyteller Award. And then a fun fact about me, I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, born and raised. My mom and dad actually are real estate broker agents in Palm Beach County, Florida, so I grew up around this business. And you can find me on social media, on Twitter, as well as on Instagram, @CarlosGill83. I also have a very active social media presence on Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn, you name it. So feel free, either now or at the conclusion of this presentation, to connect with me. You also see my email address there, so feel free to send me an email. I also want to go ahead and point this out. If you want to share any of this content out on social media, be sure to either tag myself @CarlosGill83 or tag @MAPSCoaching. You can also use the hashtag, which is #MAPSCoaching. So now we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and jump right into what are the 5 challenges that agents face. And these 5 challenges are what I've heard over the last year of working directly with all of you and your colleagues. Like I said before, I've done several MAPS group coaching programs on social media for real estate. I've now had the pleasure of working with several hundred agents that represent Keller Williams worldwide. And I've listed here really in order of what I've heard from all of you, and this is really what I'm going to address over the next 25 to 30 minutes. First is time management. So what I hear from agents constantly is you don't have time to manage social media. You don't have time to create content. And what I'm going to help you not only today, but over the next 4 weeks is really how to invest your time in not only being able to leverage these platforms simultaneously in an efficient manner time-wise, but also how to go ahead and build a brand, which you see on their personal branding. I'm going to skip around a little bit. Personal branding is also what I hear from agents. You're very well known in your community. However, you're not as well known online. So how do you take that personal brand that people associate with in your own community where you do business? How do you go ahead and transition that over to building an online brand? Next, what platforms to use? Not only what platforms to use, but when to use them and how to use them. Look, the reality is this. social media in almost the year 2018 is a very crowded and noisy universe. It's hard to stand out organically. There's things that you have to apply, like running Facebook ads that you see there on the screen to help your content stand out. You have to have content that continuously flows, and more importantly, the type of content based on the platform that you post. No one social network is created equally. So the content that you post on Facebook is going to be completely different than the content that you post on Instagram, and completely different than the content that you post over on, say, Snapchat. Also, Facebook ads. It's very difficult to grow your presence organically today. All of these social networks, including Facebook, have become pay-to-play social networks. It's online advertising disguised as social media. So I'm going to share with you today some tips for how to leverage Facebook ads. And once again, in the 4-week Social Media for Real Estate Agents course that I present here with MAPS, we actually dedicate an entire session, an entire 90 minutes, to teach you how to use Facebook ads inside and out. And then before I said content. So once again, a challenge for agents is what type of content to post, when. And I'm going to share with you today some different tips on content. Now, before I jump into strategy, let's talk about social media and the real estate industry. It's no surprise that social media has disrupted how virtually every single industry out there markets. To date, as of November of 2016, last year, there are over 1.2 million NAR members. So there's a lot of you out there. And what that means to all of you is there's a lot of competition amongst real estate agents out in the field, and there's a lot of competition amongst real estate agents on social media. In fact, as of the 2013-2014 Realtor Technology Survey, which now is a pretty outdated survey, 91% of realtors back then indicated that they use social media to some extent. If I had to guess and put money on it, I would say that probably close to 100% today of agents are using social media. Once again, I said before that my mom and dad are real estate broker agents, and they primarily use social media, a combination of Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and even Instagram. They're using all these channels to consistently tell a story about their listings and tell a story about their business and who they are as realtors. Because let's face it, people today do business with who they feel comfortable doing business with, which leads me to my next point, that the median age of first-time home buyers today is 30 years old. 30 years old. These are your millennials. And trust me, a millennial, and I'm speaking as one, I'm a little bit on the older side of a millennial, 34, but your average millennial today does not want to be sold to. They're not taking the time on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon to drive around communities to look at open house signs. In fact, what they're doing is they're using a combination of online media. They're using mobile apps like Zillow and Realtor.com. And they're even turning to social media to ask their friends for recommendations on referrals on what realtors they should be working with. Which leads me to my next point, which is 77% of brand conversations on social media are people looking for advice, information, or help. Let's face it, we are all consumers. Think about your own activity as a consumer, how you personally use social media. When you look at Facebook nowadays, it doesn't take a long time to see that most people go on social media to escape their daily life's realities. They use social media as a vehicle to chat with their friends and not engage with brands. So my recommendation to each one of you listening or watching this right now is start using social media more as a way for you to provide your services as a resource. Trust me, there's a lot of millennials and there's a lot of folks out there, whether they're first-time home buyers, whether they're looking to sell a home, whether they're looking to invest in real estate. There are individuals that are looking for your expertise. They might not necessarily know how to find you. They might not necessarily be visiting your website, but they're looking for expertise of your field and your domain. So with that being said, start thinking of your persona and your presence on social media. How can you be much more of a community ambassador and showcase the community that you serve, but also how can you be viewed as a thought leader in your industry? Which brings me to my last point, which is 88% of people trust online reviews by other consumers as much as they trust recommendations from personal contacts. And what does that mean? People trust people. People believe in people. Nowadays, when most individuals and social media consumers go see brand content, what they're faced with is content that's trying to sell them something, which is why instinctively as people, we tend to turn to our friends, family, neighbors, and colleagues for advice, because we view that as a credible source that we trust. Moving on, what is the role of a real estate agent on social media? And once again, these points right here are really based on the time that I've spent now working with hundreds of Keller Williams real estate agents. And the first is to serve as a community ambassador and resource. Let's think about this. I live right now in Los Angeles, California. If I'm looking to buy a home, instinctively, I'm going to go onto Facebook and I am going to ask my friends, who do you know in Los Angeles that you can recommend to help me in my home purchase or in the sale of my home? And I am more than certain within minutes I'm going to receive a flood of recommendations. Now, how do you, as an agent, become viewed as community ambassador or resource? Well, it's through a couple of different ways, and this kind of ties into your content strategy. You can either take the approach where you just post listings all day long on social media, and that's known as inventory, and that's known as sales, and people really don't want to be sold to. Or you can take the approach of, I do business in Nashville, Tennessee, and I want to be known as Mr. or Mrs. Go-to resource for all things in Nashville, Tennessee. So when there's a new business in town, I'm going to go to that grand opening. I'm going to post photos about it. I'm going to create content on my Instagram stories or my Snapchat stories. If you do this consistently over time and you start creating content around the community that you serve, with real estate kind of feeding into what's the product that you sell or what's the resource that you offer, over time, anytime someone thinks of Nashville or the city where you do business, you're going to be the first person that individuals think about to then send you a referral. So hopefully you see how that transition works there. A part of this also, and part of your role in social media, is to provide thought leadership and industry insight. So someone out there who's looking to buy or sell a home, they might not necessarily know what interest rates are today. They might not know that, if they wait just a few months and sell their home at the beginning of the summer, that they might make $20,000 or $30,000 more than if they sell their home in, say, February or March. These are things that you, as a professional in the industry, need to be talking about. You need to be creating content, because the more content you create that puts your thought leadership and industry expertise first, once again, when folks need a recommendation, they are going to go ahead and receive one based on the individual that not only is the loudest and putting themselves out there, but also driving as much value. Next is answering questions related to the local real estate market. My recommendation to you is maybe do a weekly Facebook Live. Create content around your community's real estate market, because folks will then in turn ask you, how much are homes going for? What are the comps in my neighborhood? For example, I own a rental property in St. Louis, Missouri, and about every 6 months, I'll reach out to the agent that sold me that house, and I will ask her, about the comps in the area. Maybe it's a good time to buy. Maybe it's a good time for me to just hang on to the house. These are things that you can be answering consistently and often through social media, through a combination of Twitter. You can do it through Facebook Live. And once again, as folks come to you, this is how you're going to build your pipeline of referrals, because if folks are coming to you with questions, those are individuals not only you can answer their question, but you can assist them right there and then in real time with their needs. Another role of a real estate agent is to network with prospective home buyers and sellers. So how do you actually go out and find these people? Well, a combination of things. You can join Facebook groups, you can join LinkedIn groups, you can join professional association groups. Professional associations are great because they typically are well plugged in and connected with people that are moving around. And then, last is showing your inventory of home for sales or your listings. That's your product. So think of your products that you offer as your services. It's you, and it's also your inventory of homes, provided that you have listings. So you want to be able to showcase your inventory on social media, but trust me, there's a reason why I put this last on this list here. Before you get people to see what that inventory is and really get them to care, there's a lot that goes into this, and this is the steps I've listed. And there's also content involved in creating a brand. Now, like I said before, I've worked in social media now for over 10 years. I've had my own startup. I've worked and led social media for several large brands. And my advice to you as a real estate agent and really as a business owner is you have to set forth goals. If you just use social media arbitrarily to post out content with no goals and no objectives, you're going to be wasting your time. Believe you me, social media can be a complete waste of time if you're not strategic and you don't have goals. So what I would recommend for you is to make referrals your #1 goal. If there's anything that you get out of, whether it's this introductory webinar, whether it's the 4-week course that hopefully you signed up for, or whether it's you kind of figuring social media out on your own, make referrals your goal. What you want to have happen is you have such a great presence in social media that people are coming out of the woodwork wanting to do business with you. So my recommendation is make 2 new leads per week, your goal, so 2 referrals per week. If you generate 2 new leads per week over the course of 52 weeks, over the course of a year, that's 104 new referrals annually and 26 new sales if a quarter of those close. So let's face it, not everyone's going to turn into a listing or a closed sale. So that's why I like to kind of use this law of averages of a quarter. If a quarter of those new leads close, that's 26 new sales. You know your commission structure better than I know your commission structure. So take your average commissions and multiply that by 26, and that's potentially what you are sitting on if, and this is the big if you strategically use social media in your business. So as you're setting goals, I want to share with you a real life example here of Brianna Sullivan, who is a realtor for Keller Williams Group 1. As you see, this is a real life Facebook post that she shared December 29th, 2016, going into the year. She says, friends, I'm going back into sales in 2017. I want to own a business. It's a reflection for myself. So once again, she's making this very personal. She says, I have a passion for home ownership and the options it brings for truly building wealth. I believe that with love, I will help 48 families this year achieve their dreams. I'd be honored to earn your business. If you'd like to connect with my tribe, you can like my page. I look forward to connecting with you. What does Brianna do here? She basically has a very warm yet strong call to action to her social media community. She states her goals flat out, that she wants to help 48 families this year achieve their dreams. So her goal is 48 referrals. Again, law of averages, if a quarter of these close, then that's not 48 sales, okay? It's a quarter of them, but still that's her setting forth this objective, which I feel is a very reasonable and smart and attainable goal. Now, having goals is one piece of this equation. The second is having a personal brand. Once again, people relate to people and they buy from people that they trust. This isn't just real estate, but this is since the beginning of time. People instinctively will do business if they like you and if they feel comfortable with you. How do you build that comfortability and how do you become likable with someone? That is through your personal brand and what your personal brand conveys. So there's a few key elements that go into building out your personal brand on social media. One, that's having keywords in your social media profiles. So everywhere that you have a presence, whether it's Twitter, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, what have you, your profile should contain one, if not all of these keywords. For starters, realtor, real estate agent, or at least the word real estate, and Keller Williams. The reason why you want to have these is because think of keywords no different than SEO. When someone looks up real estate agent, when they look up Keller Williams, when they look up realtor, these keywords are what are going to come up in search. And believe me, Keller Williams has very, very strong brand equity. If you go on a platform like Instagram and you look up hashtag Keller Williams, there's at least over 200,000 photos posted that have hashtag Keller Williams in them. So make sure that you have a combination of all of these keywords in your profiles. Now, what you want to do is you want to post a mix of personal and professional content. You don't want to have all of your content be all about your professional life because, let's face it, after a while it's going to become very boring. And if you want to become relatable to people, you have to post about what you do in your personal life, whether it's posting photos of your kids, going to ball games, going out to eat. Once again, if you're building this persona of being a community ambassador, then you want to post content from local happenings in your community. Next is engage often to stay relevant and top of mind. You can't just post once on social media and walk away and expect for all these likes to come in or all these referrals. You have to post at least once, if not once or twice a day in order to stay relevant and top of mind. Social media operates in real time. So you're honestly as good as your last tweet, you're as good as your last Facebook post, you're as good as your last story that you tell on Instagram or on Snapchat. Which leads me to this next point, which is to use Snapchat and Instagram for storytelling. Instagram and Snapchat have changed the game in terms of how content marketing is had. Today, storytelling is the new form of content. That is using your phone to actually show people what you do, who you are, and what you're doing at all times of the day. And in this case, you can use Snapchat and Instagram stories to take people to your open houses. You can take them out with you and share with, share your community what you're doing in your business. And then also be sure to maintain both a Facebook page and a profile. So one of the questions I get asked all the time is, should I have a page, or should I have a profile, or should I have both? And I say you should have both. One, your Facebook page is like your storefront on Facebook. It's where you're gonna post the majority of your business content. Your profile is gonna be where you go to post your personal content and a little bit of a mix of professional. Let me share with you guys an example here between a Facebook page and a profile. So on the left, you see the page for Danny Fee of Keller Williams Realty Las Vegas. And then on the right, you see Danny Fee's Facebook profile. Now, I want to give Danny a shout out because, in my opinion, Danny, I've studied now hundreds and hundreds of not just Keller Williams agents, but just real estate agents all over social media. I think Danny really sets the gold standard for having a professional brand on social media. So what I like about Danny's page on Facebook, which is on the left-hand side, first of all, he's got the keywords in there: realtor, Keller Williams, Las Vegas, which is a city where he does business. So guess what? If I go to Google right now and I type in Keller Williams, Las Vegas, I guarantee you Danny Fee is probably going to be at the very top of search results. If I go on Facebook, which Facebook's search engine operates very similar to Google, and I type in Las Vegas real estate or Keller Williams Las Vegas, chances are Danny's profile is going to come up. Danny's profile is optimized to promote and push his business first. On the right-hand side, however, is Danny Fee, the father, Danny Fee, the husband, Danny Fee, the person. You kind of see the breakdown here of photos. He has photos of his family, but you look at the post here where he's sharing content from his business page. So your personal profile should position you as who you are as the person, but feel free on occasion to mix in content from your business page and share over on your personal profile. So your personal friends, family, neighbors, colleagues, acquaintances, etc. that you're friends with on Facebook, so at least they know what you do professionally and you keep that top of mind for them. Now, here's an example of using Instagram to post personal and professional content. So I know _Houston says right there, Houston real estate specialist. He's a food fanatic, Husky owner, watch aficionado, and these guys' website, which is iknowhouston.com. iknowhouston.com implies to me that he is the go-to resource for all things Houston. And what do you see there on his feed? A photo of him at an Astros game. He's got, you see there on the right-hand side, all the relevant hashtags for Houston, but he also has hashtag Keller Williams, hashtag real estate, hashtag for sale. So what is Matthew doing here? Matthew basically is using his social media to go ahead and be a community ambassador, to position himself with showing what he does in his free time when he's not working with clients, but he also is shows through his profile that he's a real estate specialist. Now, I talked a little bit before about Snapchat and Instagram stories for storytelling. You see some different examples here. On the left-hand side, you see how Snap Listings is using Snapchat to actually show a story of what happens when a house gets cleaned up, when it either has just been sold or when it's being cleaned up to hit the market. Then you see here in the middle, Tudor-style houses. You see a story, of most likely what's a new home tour. Then you see Top Florida Realtor right there in the middle, offer submitted, wish me luck. Then you see Jason Frazier, also known as the real estate CIO. He works in mortgage and home lending. You see on the right-hand side a story from his company, Mason McDuffie Mortgage. In all these cases here that you see in front of you, all four of them, what this is an example of professionals in your industry that are using these tools to tell a real-time story, almost like a blog, almost like think of storytelling as your own reality show, using this reality show as a means to build community and show others what they do. The question always comes up, what platforms should I use? So these are the 5 questions that you absolutely need to answer yourself. 1, who am I trying to reach? So for example, are you trying to reach a 55 and older community? Because that's your target market. Are you trying to reach millennials? Are you trying to reach Generation Z? Are you trying to reach potential baby boomers as investors? Who you're trying to reach is going to then dictate what platforms you should use, because each one of these demographics tend to reside primarily on a different platform. For example, if you want to reach consumers who are 55 and older, try going on, say, Facebook. Try going on, say, even Pinterest. If you're trying to reach either 55 and older or trying to reach, for example, primarily female consumers. If you're trying to reach a millennial, use Instagram, use Snapchat. So who am I trying to reach is 1. What platforms are they on is number 2. 3 is what content will I put in front of them? So content is the name of the game here. In order to engage anyone on social media, your content is going to be what gets them to go ahead and opt in. 4 is how will I add value and stand out to this audience? And then 5, where can I invest at least 1 to 2 hours per day? If you cannot spend at least 1 to 2 hours per day on your social media presence, then don't even bother using social media, because like I said before, you can't just post once and walk away and expect for leads to come in. You have to be consistent. You have to stand out there in order to build your presence over time. So what makes for good content? Well, first of all, today's consumer wants to be engaged. They don't want to be sold to. So here are 5 different tactics that I've put in front of you. First is live video tours and photos of listings. Every single time that you get a listing, you have an opportunity to take photos and create a gallery on Instagram, create a gallery on Facebook. You have an opportunity to do a live video tour. You can do a live video tour on Twitter, on Facebook Live. You can do a live video tour on Instagram. You can do a tour on Snapchat. Heck, nowadays you can even upload videos under 10 minutes to LinkedIn. So I would encourage you to either use your iPhone or Android, which has a pretty darn good camera, or invest in a DSLR camera and use the tools that you have available. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You can do this yourself, but every one of your listings, you need to create content around. The second is third-party news. So anytime there's a Forbes article, Realtor.com article, etc., around the market that you do business in, that positions real estate being a hot real estate market, make sure you're sharing that third-party news. If there's content around, for example, interest rates being at an all-time low for our market, make sure that you're sharing that sort of content. Blogs with industry insights. I would encourage you, start up a blog. You can start up a blog on Medium. You can start up a blog on LinkedIn. You can even use your Facebook page to blog. But have a blog with industry insights, once again, that positions you as a thought leader. Also, Q&A with a realtor on home buying tips. This is huge. Make sure, if you want to go ahead and position yourself as a resource and a thought leader, that you use platforms like Facebook when you're doing your live videos to do an Ask Me Anything Q&A. This is for your community of fans and followers to be able to ask you questions on things like home buying tips. And then 5, news from Keller Williams. You work for a great organization. You represent the best organization in the world for real estate. Go to kellerwilliams.com. See what Keller Williams is sharing on platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. And you know what, guys? It's very easy to click a share button and share their content or retweet their content if you're at a, for lack of a better term, lack of content to post. Now, here's some different examples on live video on Facebook. You see on the left-hand side, live Q&A with the address of the home. You see in the middle, another day, another house. This Lake Nona home is 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,200 square feet. So you see here a Facebook Live, it's got a lot of likes, has a nice little description of the home, and then you see on the right-hand side property tour of 8549 Verlaine Drive in San Carlos. So again, these are all real-life examples of agents that are using live video to go ahead and really bring their inventory to life. Now let's talk about Facebook ads. These are 4 guidelines that you absolutely need to follow if you want to be successful with Facebook ads. First is have a monthly budget, even if it's as low as $500 to $1,000 on average. Create custom audiences. The key to Facebook ads is to ensure that you're not just throwing money out the window and seeing what sticks. What you want to do is ensure that the right type of people are seeing your ads. So you can create custom audiences based on interest, based on age, based on demographic. Ensure that anytime you spend $1 on Facebook, that the right audience is seeing it and not a random audience. Boost every post, ensure it's reaching the right audience. So only 1% of organic views not paid. What that means is out of all your fans and followers on Facebook, only 1% of them are organically seeing your content. So if you have 1,000 fans on Facebook, that means only about 10 people organically are seeing your content, which is not very good. So once again, ensure that you have a monthly budget of at least $500 to $1,000. That way you can put somewhere between $20 to $25 to boost every single post. And then paid media should result in direct response or leads. And what I mean by this is you shouldn't throw ads, you shouldn't throw dollars out there on ads just to get more visibility. What you need to be doing is ensure that your ads are driving at least one referral or they're driving leads through your website or directly on Facebook. Now, some different examples here for custom audiences and running an ad. You see here on the left-hand side an example of how to build a custom audience. You see there demographics. You can build ads based on people that are currently homeowners, people that are renters. You can even, target people that are new parents, expecting parents. You can target people that are getting divorces. You can target people that are looking to retire. You can kind of see here all the different suggested breakdown of demographics. And then on the right-hand side is an example of actually building out an ad. So very short copy. What you want to do is you want to get people to click on the call to action button. In this case, it's to learn more, which will then take them to my website. Or you can actually have folks message you directly on Facebook. Make sure that when you're building your ads out, you have a very nice, large, vibrant photo. You have a very strong call to action. Make sure you fill out all the places here where you can put text. So you have a title, you have a description, and then you have a call to action button. Now, the last here is how to save time and be more efficient. Every single real estate agent wants to save time. Here's how you go ahead and do that. First of all, download mobile apps for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Snapchat. If you have these apps on your phone, then you won't depend on getting to a desktop or a laptop computer. You'll be able to access these networks all from your phone. Next, use a tool called Buffer to post content at specific times across channels. This will help you in making sure that you have content flowing across your different channels throughout the day. Then set up listening dashboards on Hootsuite, which will help you go ahead and identify people that are chatting about things like moving to Nashville. And then finally, create images using templates with Canva and Adobe Spark. So here's an example of a tool that I like to use called Canva. There's different templates on here that are drag and drop. With these templates here, you can drag and drop photos of listings. You can customize the colors. You can customize the text. As you see here, this is just a demo of a home that's for sale. You can go ahead and list your website. So you can have fun with Canva. It's completely free to use the service. And you can also create images here based on the different size specifications of each social network. So here's some key strategies to implement as soon as possible. One, ensure that you can be found by updating the keywords in your social media profiles. So that's important. Like I said before, SEO, make sure you have these keywords in your profiles. Two, dedicate at least 1 hour per day to your social media accounts. For every listing that you take on, be sure to create a live video tour on Facebook in addition to posting a gallery of photos on Instagram. With Instagram, you can use up to 30 hashtags. You can post up to 10 photos in one post. Make sure that you're creating LinkedIn posts for listings to improve SEO. And then ask your Facebook friends on your personal profile if they know of anyone looking to buy or sell a home. And then finally, 6, I've created a Facebook group. It's my own personal social media for real estate agents mastermind group. Be sure to join that. You see the link there in front of you. The group continues to grow. We have about 300 agents in there already. It's a very active group. If you have any questions for me, you're able to go ahead and ask me those questions there. Also, it's great for networking with other colleagues. Now, here's the fun stuff. We are starting our next social media for real estate agents course this coming Thursday, October 19th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We meet for 4 consecutive weeks every single Thursday at the same time, so that's not going to change. The cool thing about this is that if you're not able to tune in to that webinar for whatever reason, all sessions are recorded and they're available for playback at your convenience. So once again, if you can't make it for either all 4 weeks live, if there's a particular week that you can't make it, you can go ahead and watch the replay. And then for you signing up for this webinar today, we actually have an exclusive offer. The course normally retails for $297. However, if you sign up today and use the code SAVE50, you will save $50 off your registration, which brings it down to $247. And then you see the link there in front of you. So I hope that you got tremendous value out of this session, and I really hope that you will make the investment and sign up for our next social media for real estate agents launch, which will go live this Thursday. I can guarantee you, if social media is something that you want to know more about, if you are struggling with making sense of it, even if you use social media and you've been using it for a while, but you want to learn some of the different tips and tricks, then I guarantee you this is the most comprehensive course that you will find, which will cover A to Z everything that you need to know about social media for real estate. So I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank the team over at Keller Williams, and I want to open it up for any questions that you might have.
Hey, Carlos?
Yes.
Okay, we have some questions. So the first question I see was about keywords. Let me find it. Okay, where do you put the keywords? In the literal post, or is there a field where you put the keywords?
So you put the keywords in your profile section. So for example, if you're editing your Twitter profile, you'll put the keywords there. But then you should also put keywords in your post content as well.
Okay. Then should I make my personal Facebook page public or private, and what is the difference?
Your profile should be public at all times if you want your content to be seen.
Okay. Say you have a team and you have a team page. Should you have a page for just yourself as well as your profile?
Great question. You absolutely should have a page that encompasses your team, which is going to be team content, team wins, team highlights, but then you also have your own personal page.
Great. Okay. Should I use my business Facebook page or personal Facebook page to promote my business, and how should I use each?
So you should use, I covered this before, you should use your business page at all times to promote your business, but maybe once or twice a week sprinkle in a couple of posts to your personal page.
Okay. Let's see. For the webinar program, will you go over Snapchat and LinkedIn?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So Facebook page is a business page, and your profile is your personal Facebook, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, any more? Wait, sorry, there are more questions. Do keywords need hashtags?
Yeah, I was just seeing that. So with keywords, if you're posting, for example, on Twitter or on Instagram, then you would absolutely turn those into hashtags. So for example, hashtag real estate would be a keyword.
Okay, so we have, according to the 2016 NAR profile of home buyer and seller, less than 1% of sellers and buyers found agents through social media. My concern is that the amount of effort needed to manage social media at the level you are talking about may rob me of time needed doing more of the stronger lead generation tactics. Even at an hour a day, this is probably not my main focus, correct? Probably more of a team leverage tool?
So, you know, that's really subjective. You've got agents out there that are, one man, one woman shops, and they're absolutely crushing it because they're investing time in their social media. So you could definitely do this as a team, but I can tell you when you start getting into things like building a personal brand, you can't do that as a team. You have to really do it on your own.
Okay. Will the weekly webinar go into more detail of what you went through today?
Most definitely.
Great. Should you share from your business page to your personal page?
Yeah, so I covered that before, and I answered that a couple questions ago. You should definitely post all of your business content on your business page, but at least once or twice a week, share business content to your personal.
Great. So with Instagram, you have up to 30 hashtags, right?
Correct.
Should hashtags be used on Facebook too?
No.
No. Okay. Is it best to share your business page to personal page, or just post business stuff regularly on personal page?
Post on your business page every single day, and then post, share, like I said, once or twice a week, business content on your personal.
Awesome. Is there a way to invite people to like your business page from your business page?
Yes, and I do share that in the course.
Great. So you should put them in your notes, and then you just cut and paste each time you want to post?
Let me read that question. You should put them in your notes, and then just, I think Alex might be referring to hashtags.
Oh, yeah.
I like to mix my hashtags up. That way I'm not using the same ones. Think of hashtags as like categories. So if you're posting in 30 different categories over and over, then you're only limiting your exposure to those 30 categories. So I like to mix mine up. But yeah, that's not a bad tactic to have groups of 30 hashtags already saved in notes on your phone that we can just go over and copy and paste.
Okay, Kristen said, I've been trying to sign up today, but the site is having issues and won't let me register. Kristen, let me check in on that. Please email me at fasttrack@kw.com. I'm not sure what that issue may be, and let me also send you the direct link to register. I'm also going to post that in the chat real quick, and that will automatically apply the Save 50 code. All right. So then we have a few more questions. I'm taking the BOLD program through KW over the next 6 Thursdays. Is there another way to participate in the social media launch? So Larry, all of the sessions are recorded. If you can't attend the live sessions, you can always participate on the recordings and then email your questions in. Okay. Should you use video in the Facebook ads or just an image?
I'm a big fan of using video. I would recommend using a short video and then have your call to action obviously then linked to your website.
Okay. Is there an app or a few that help get posts to all platforms?
Buffer.
Buffer. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks like those are all the questions for today. Carlos, we thank you so much for being on this webinar. And just to mention it again, this recording will be sent out to everyone that did attend or that couldn't make it. Please feel free to share the link with anyone in your market center. Any other questions, please direct those to fasttrack@kw.com. That's FASTTRACK@kw.com. Carlos, anything else for you?
No, that's it. Once again, thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to seeing all of you on Thursday.
Thank you.